What's up, everyone? My name is Kamal, and welcome to the fourth session. And today we are going to cover about the next data type in detail, that is list. So you see, like in our second session, we cover about the very basic data types like the strings, integer, float, boolean, and none. But I want to cover some other data types which are very useful when we are going to create our projects. And within that, we have covered about lists in this session. That is something we are going to cover today. In our last session, I have covered about strings in a lot of detail. Okay, so let's begin with the list concept. So first of all, I will open my Jupyter notebook. Once you click on that, you are going to open this. So let's say I want to create a folder in, I will create folder in the desktop and this training folder. Okay. So go over there, training folder. Let's create a new Python blank notebook. Okay. So we are going to learn about how to create the list, indexing and slicing in case of list as well, some of the basic methods, and how to do the nesting list, same like the nested ifs. What all these are, let's see now. Okay, so let's create a heading. How to create heading? Lists data type. I will click over here, press M for monitor, press M, shift enter. Okay, shift enter. Let's say if you press shift enter again, so it is going to create the blank cells for you, or you can just click on this plus sign. It can also create the blank cells for you. And let's say if you want to delete them, there is cut option for you. Okay, so let's begin now. So let's say now I create a list. I call it policy term. That is the name of my variable. Policy term is of, let's say, 10, 20, 30. I will trigger this. So now see over here, to create the list, okay, you have to pass this. So this is the scare bracket, same like your indexing, if you remember. So always remember that if you are typing any kind of a string, what you do is you pass the single quote, double quote, or triple quote and write something, right? This is a string, right? That is what you do. But in case of a list, you have to pass the variable in this way. That is scare brackets, or you call it large brackets. And within that, you will pass on your values. So let's say if I want to confirm that whether this policy term is a list data type or not. So how to do that? You will type of my policy term type. So you see, this is a list object. That is clear. Let's say now if I want to find the type of ABC, this is a string. Pretty clear. So now you may ask that in case of the list, can we only pass the numerical values? So this is not right. So let's say I create the product details as a new variable. Okay, just take an example. And I will pass the name as David, his first name, then his last name, David Beckham. Okay, let's say his age is 40 and he bought the policy for 20-year tenure. So you can see, like, you can pass the string, you can pass integer, you can pass float as well, you can pass boolean, you can pass non data type as well. That is completely fine. You can do anything. Okay, so now we have covered in our last session about how to find the length of a string, right? So let's say if I type again, let's say ABC is equal to David. Okay, I want to find the length of this ABC, which is string. I know 1 2 3 4 5, right? But let's say now I want to find the 6, yeah, I want to find the length of this product details. So always remember, like, I am not going to type the product details completely. I will just type, let's say, PRO and then press tab. So you can see it gives me two options. I know product details. So just shift enter. Now it is saying 7. How does that 7 comes up? So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it means that this is one value. This is second. This is third. This is fourth. But in case of a string, this is D is first, second, third, fourth, and so on. So always remember that. So this is very useful right now when we will learn about the concept of indexing and slicing. So right now, let's say, So we have covered about how to make this bold heading. Now let's say if I want to make it bold and italic both. So I will type triple star, press M, shift enter. So bold and italic. Okay, so it's just for the aesthetics purpose, nothing else. So now I have my product details as this. I want to find the first value, that is the indexing. And always remember, I covered in my last session as well that in case of indexing, the numbering in Python starts from 0. So I will type 0. So I can see that I have a list object and the variable name is product details. What is the indexed value at the 0th number? That is David. So this is David and so on. If I want to find the last value, I can simply write product details minus 1, and there you go. Now you see that you are not able to see the answer because this is a none data type. So there cannot be any value. But let's say if you type product details minus 2, you can see the answer as true. Product details says minus 3, that is 3. Do not get confused by this none data type. It simply means that we cannot assign data type to this variable. That's it. It is not going to be used anywhere, but still it is just one of the features available within Python. So I covered it, although you are not going to use that at all in my view. Okay. So now let's say this is my product details, right? Can I add some more values within this list? Let's try to find. Let's say if I want to add one more value, that is 35. So I will type product details and add 35. Can you do that? No, you cannot do it like that, but you can pass it on as a list. If I type this, and you can see it is added. But now if I check my product details, it is not there. So basically I have to pass this thing in a two ways. So what I will do is product details is equal to product details, which is the existing one, plus 35. Right now if I check the value of my updated product details, so it will be this. Pretty simple, because right now I am just trying to see that how does my output looks like, and if it does make sense, I can pass it into a variable, whether in a same variable or you can pass it as a new variable or a new parameter, whatever you call. Okay, same thing. Now let's say I want to cover few more things with you guys. Let's say I am creating a parameter named as R, or call it variable or parameter, something. I am writing this. And now if I will type print S into 5, I know I will get R 5 times. So let's see whether this thing is possible in case of a list as well or not. Okay. So I will type, let's say, print product details into 2. So now you can see 1, 2, 3. So this is my first and this is second time. So just a small features that I am covering with you guys. Okay, nothing else. So now let's take a look at the lists methods. And one more thing, guys, just do not get bored by these few lectures in the beginning. I can understand that you will be like that, what is the use of these boring sessions? But believe me, after we complete our 6-7 sessions, after that things are going to change a lot. We will be deeply involved into creating a lot of projects, and at that point of time, these small things will be super useful. So just go through them in a lot of detail, and in my view this is not complex at all. It is pure common sense that I am giving you guys right now. Okay, so just keep your focus over here. All right, so let's talk about some of the methods. So I, let's say, define policy term as 5, 10, 15. Okay, this is my policy term, right? You can check that 5, 10, 15. Let's say now I want to add one more, that is, let's say, 20. So we know, right, we know that one of the method is using that. You can do that, but some of the features available within the specific method. So I will type, let's say, policy term dot. I told you last time as well that when you creating any object, whether a string, list, or some other objects that we will cover in our upcoming sessions, press dot and then press tab. You will see a lot of functions available to you, okay, within the list method. So let's say now I wanted to add only one value, that is, let's say, 20. So I will use the function by the name append, and within that I will pass the value 20. So now if I check the policy term, it is 5, 10, 15, 20. Append simple English meaning of append is that you are adding something in the end. This is what the meaning of append is. Okay. Now let's say if I want to add more than one values, then I cannot use this append method. I can use the extend method. So let's say this policy term, I will type extend, and I want to add, let's say 30 years and 40 years as well. So I will type 30 comma 40. So now if I check my policy term, there you go. But now see over here very carefully. Within that, I have passed the list, basically like a list. So list is simply about where you are putting your values in a sequence of details. So what happen is that Python is going to read this as your parameter value that you have given for the extend. Within that parameter, you can pass as much values as you want, and you can do that using the list within that. Okay, so you can pass on as much values. Let's say policy term, I want to add, let's say 45, 46, 47 as well. So make this, then list 45, 46, 47, and there you go. If you check the policy term again, that's how it looks like. Okay, so now so we have covered about the append method, extend method. Let's take a look at one more method, that is the pop method. So what happens in case of pop method, that it will remove by default the last value, and it will show it to you as a result. So what am I saying? Let's take a look. So I will type pop method, and I don't pass anything within that. So just shift enter. So it gives me the last value, but it has also removed this last value for me as well. So now if I check my policy term, you can see it is up to 46. The last value has been removed. These are some of the features, when you are creating the projection for your assets and liabilities, and let's say you are not interested in the last year. Let's say you have projected your cash flows for the next 30 years, 50 years, 100 years. All right, so this feature is super duper useful when you are dealing with the dates, I will say. Okay, that is something we will cover up later on. So policy term, we have covered about the pop. But let's say now you may ask that, okay, I want to remove some of the values in between. How can I do that? So I will type, let's say policy term pop. Okay, brackets. Let's type shift tab tab. Let's try to find what exactly are they saying. That you can give the index within that. It will remove and return this item at that particular index. I told you indexing means that the numbering starts from 0. So let's say if I type 0 in between, so it is going to pick this value as and throw it as an answer, and it will remove it. So type this 5 policy term. Now 5 has been removed. Let's say now if I type policy term pop, and I will type 2. Okay, so this is 0, this is 0 index, 1 index, 2 index. So 20 will be removed, right? And you can see the rest is your answer. So we have covered 3 methods: append, extend, pop, and giving the index value within the pop as well. Next is, let's say now if you want to reverse the order, how can you do that? I will type, let's say policy term dot reverse. So now if I check my policy term, you can see the basically like an inverse. So starting from here, it has completely reversed the positions. Okay, so that is, as the name suggests, this is a reverse. Now let's say if I want to sort this, let's create one more variable, let's say ABC, and here we will pass, let's say 10, 5, 8, 26, 2, 100, 87. Okay, this is, I want to sort these values from ascending to descending order, whatever you say. So I will type sort, and now if I check the values of ABC, you can see it has been sorted. Now let's say you may ask that how can I sort that from descending to ascending? So let's go and find that. You can see you can pass that by default that it is going to sort the list in the ascending order, but you can modify it as well. Try to find it by yourself, or you can try the reverse is equal to true. By default this is reverse is equal to false. Try to pass on and write the variable reverse is equal to true and see the magic. So it's all about exploring by yourself more and more. Okay, and when you create the live projects, no one is going to expect from you that you know each and everything about Python. It is a programming language which will keep on evolving more and more. The point is that you must have the strong fundamentals, that you are aware about what you are trying to do, and then try to improve your googling skills, searching skills. And in fact, after the this chat gpt, your problem solving ability is going to improve a lot, because chat gpt will help you definitely a lot of times. Okay, so we have covered about some of the methods, that is now pop, extend, append, reverse, and sort. Now I wanted to cover about one more topic, that is nested lists. It is same like nested ifs. So in case of Excel, you write is equal to if, put any condition, then one more if within that condition. It means you are using if within a if. And in technical terms, we call it nested ifs. Same concept over here. That is nested list, which means you are creating a list within a list. How to do that? Let's take a look. Let's say I create a tenure or term of the policy, can be 10 years, 12 years, or 15 years, and the name of the person is, let's say, abc def ghi. Okay, so it's all up to you whether you type double quotes, single quotes, doesn't matter. Okay, it's these three are strings, and let's say the age of these persons are, let's say, 40, 45, 50. Simple. Now these three are separate list. I can make the combined list out of them, combined list, and I can pass it as a list, tenure, name, age. Pretty simple. Now if I check the value of my combined list, you can see that this is the outer list, starting from here, close over there. Within that list, there are three values. This is your first list, second list, and third list. Pretty simple. Now, list within a list. This is one list, this is one more list, this is one more list. How will the indexing looks like in this case? Pretty simple. You just have to use your common sense. I will type combined list and I will type 0. I'm trying to find the index. So when I type 0 index, so it will give me this as the answer. You can see. But let's say now I want to find the 10 as my answer only. That is completely fine. This is the existing result that we did over there. Now type 0 again, because up to this point, this is your list. Now do the same operations of indexing again. This is at the 0th, this is at the first, this is at the second. Let's say if I type 1 over there, let's say 2 over there. So 0, 1, 2, 15 is my answer. Let's take one more example. I want to find this DEF as my answer. How can I do that? Combined list. This is at 0th index, 1 index. So I will type 1. Then within this, it is again at the 0th index and first index. So I will type 1 again. So DEF is my answer. Pretty simple. Okay. Some other properties I want to cover with you guys. Now let's take a look. Let's say I create a new list. My list is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 40, 100, 87. Just pretty simple. I want to find the maximum number of this list. Just type max and pass your my list. You can see. You want to find min, pass your my list. You get 1 as an answer. You can see over there. You can find the sum as well. Pass your my list. Get your answer. Pretty simple, right? And I want you to cover one more small thing. So always remember that when you are creating a parameter, so you can see I have created a my list, combined list, tenure, name, age, etc. Do not create some of the variables. So for example, if you try to create variable as string is equal to string, do not try to do that. Do not, because these are the built-in methods or objects within the Python, and your code will definitely crash. So do not do that. Okay. How can you check that? You can either Google it, what are those variables that you cannot create, or the thumb rule is, when you are creating a parameter name, so you will see it is in a green color. It means that there is something which is inbuilt within the Python. You can see this sum, min, max. So these are inbuilt within the Python. So do not create your variables like that. But let's say I will type string underscore one. This is my variable. So now that green color gone. Okay. So similarly, string, lists, list, do not create variable like that. Okay. So just remember this thing. Pretty simple. Okay. So let's revise what we have covered in our this session about the list. That is how to create the list. Okay. How to do the indexing and slicing. Okay. Similarly, you can do that. Oh, we have not covered the slicing as well, right? So let's say we are over here. Okay, one more thing now. So let's say I want to add one more cell. So this is a cell, right, in which you are typing your answer. I want to create one more cell after this point, but before this point. Now there are two options. Either go over there and select plus. It is going to create the blank cell for me. Pretty simple. Or what you can do is, let's remove this. Click over there, press Alt Enter. When you press Alt Enter, it is going to trigger this one and create the blank cell for you over here. But in case of Shift Enter, what happens is it is going to trigger and come to the next cell. That is what it means. Okay. But in case of Alt Enter, it is going to create the separate cell for you. So it is all up to you upon your preference, whatever you want to do. Okay, so this is product details, right? So I will type product details from 0 to 3. So now if I press Shift Enter, you see I press the Shift Enter, it gives me the result because obviously I have triggered this and comes to the next one. But if I press Alt Enter, let's say Alt Enter, so it has triggered the answer, but it has created the separate cell for me. Okay, so now I think it is understood the difference between Shift Enter and Alt Enter. So yeah, coming back to the slicing part. So 0 to 3, the third index is excluded. 0, 1, 2, 3, 20 will not come. So up to this, David Beckham 40. All right. So I hope that you all enjoyed this session, and I will see you in the next one. You will find this Python script in the next section. You will find it below. Okay. Thank you. Bye.